Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and we are continuing with the word health. Now, something that I've also used in this process of exploring myself within and as this word is whenever I felt that food became an emotional issue for me, where you've in a way channeled so much emotion into, let's say, fat, something that will contribute to fat in your body, or, how many calories you should consume on a daily basis. And, you're kind of in that more extreme, extensive case of your relationship with food, where now it's not gone into just the general, hey, food is here to sustain me, to keep me alive, to be able to live, and have a look at, okay, how much are the basics of what I need. And even this you can explore, drop the kilojoules, the fat content, the carbohydrate content, salt content, sugar content. I mean, I've also been there myself years back. And what I found is you go into almost this real tunnel vision, honing, zoning, magnifying in with food. And you look almost too close at a few of the things that the foods are essentially made up of. And, everything that is, let's say, calculated in terms of the dietary content of food is also more of a, let's say, a general amount. I mean, it's never 100% accurate. So, I also, when I, over time, could see the damaging effects of, focusing myself on these few characteristics of food in relation to my physical body. I did it. You then kind of go into a reverse with your relationship, even with yourself and your body, because now you're kind of more focusing on the food and what is in the food, and kind of through that, you have this little thin pipe or straw, that you're kind of consuming anything through and with into your body. Instead, where it has to be, first and foremost, is your presence, yourself, here within your entire physical body. You and your body comes first. And it's kind of like a checking in with your body. Hey, body, what do you need today? What would you like today? What do we feel like? And that's also been quite a journey and process, but I know being in that state of mind and self and life, it's pretty hard and tough to get out of. So if anyone requires assistance and support, please place a message or send a private message in relation to food and health and diet. But see, even within that, look, you're not going to get out of that in one day, but see if you can within that, and this goes for the extreme cases and the subtle cases, for everyone to at least start with the word health. Just look at it, health, food, diet. Start making it a process and a journey and discovery, an exploring of yourself within this word. All right, I'm not saying at all yet, okay, enforcing or demanding or saying you must or should change right now. No, just take it easy on yourself, okay? If anything, when it comes to food and diet and health, we're all hard enough on ourselves. I want this to be enjoyable, all right? So what I've done for myself when I started writing about the word is imagine myself literally walking into the word health, like over and over and over again, health and diet and food. And it's interesting because that helped discharge just some of the emotional energy that I had attached to these words, because I just started, in a way, reprogramming my attention, my focus inside my mind. Because usually those words would come up with this emotion, and all sorts of pictures and voices in my head, and what other people had said, and my fears, and God knows what. And the more I just started feeling, sometimes where it just feels like everything is out there to get you in your own mind when it comes to food and diet and health, we just take a breath and imagine myself just standing there in front of these words and walking into it and just walking through each letter. And then it would help me calm down. So maybe find a way that would work for you. I mean, this has worked for me. You can give it a try. Maybe when you try it, you've got another good idea for yourself to use. Just calm yourself. Because it helped me once I got more calm with my emotions in relation to all these words. It helped me approach my relationship with it all more clearly in reality. It's as though there was always food and diet and the content of food right in front of me, but I didn't see it for what it is. I didn't see it in my relationship with my body. I saw it, kind of through this emotional veil, like there was this waterfall of emotion in front of everything, and I couldn't see it for what it is. I couldn't see myself, who I am in relation to it. And once that started calming and dropping, I could see me and food a lot more clearly. And that's when let's call it the self-healing process started in relation to food. But so many times, like so often, we want to try and change our relationship with food, or all these words in reality immediately. When I found for me, I've tried that myself. That way didn't work for me. Maybe it will sometimes work for other people. But for me personally, it helped by starting with myself first. Myself, within redefining, reprogramming, kind of redesigning myself in relation to food and what I consume on a daily basis. Because I realized, it was who I am, how I defined myself as these words, and how I was living them in my reality that had become the problem. And my relationship with food was not going to change unless I do something about it. And unless I become that change. So within the infamous words, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. It also applies to your own life. If you want to see your world of food change, you have to change within yourself. And that's where I have found the redefining and living of words supported me the most, because it kind of also distracted my focus, because I'd never done within the context of health and food and diet the redefining, defining and living of words. And it's kind of like, my mind went, what is this? I'm not familiar with it. So I kind of came in and took on this problem I was facing myself in my life in a completely different way, like I'd never before. And I kind of made it a bit easier on myself, and I made it a bit easier. I'm not saying it was easy. As we all know, walking through any form of kind of an addiction, because our relationship problems and issues we have with something is always a form of addiction, because we kind of stay in it, we remain in it. We do on some level become addicted to the idea of what it gives us. But primarily what I want to share in looking into your past and your present, when you're defining that word, like for me, in my past, I questioned when I was a child. We always say something like, oh, I wish I was a child again with my relationship with food because I was so free, I didn't care. But that's also not valid. I also wanted to live that belief that I always wanted to just be like I was when I was a kid, just to do not care about anything. And I even tried to do that, and it just got blew up in my face, because we should care about what we eat and how. Care meaning be aware and considerate within the context of our bodies. We have kind of made this decision about food and acted on it without considering the one thing that actually needs it the most, this body of ours. We so often forget that we're functioning in here and in here and in here. We, the being, the person who we are, because of this. Without this, we wouldn't exist. I mean, we all know when we're hungry to the point of starving, you can't think, you can't do anything. It's like you don't exist. That feeling in your body just takes over. If you're too full, way too full, be like on the explosion point full, same thing. You know, we either go to one or both extremes instead of finding that balance. So what we're going to do here is first find self-balance so that we can live that balance in our physical and in our relationship to our outside world. So we're going to start placing within us the needed building blocks through words to change who we are in our relationship with food and everything else, even in our lives. Who knows how far this might go in bringing forth balance, stability, fun, grace, fulfillment in our relationship with ourselves and food. And really see food and so ourselves for who we really are. I think it's time not so much get to know food, but get to know ourselves. Thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you in videos to come.